Hey everyone, welcome back to Brick System Brothers. My name is Nathan Masters, and this is a Footnotes episode. End of the month, we're going to recap what was going on here on the channel and kind of related stuff to that. So I've been doing 4 main segments for a little while now, and I kind of like this format. So I think we'll be doing that going forward. Just breaking it down into looking at what happened specifically here in August for segment 1, and then kind of hit the rewind button and look at last year, segment 2, on the channel specifically, like what was going on in August 2020 on Brick System Brothers. Segment number 3 is the answering machine, and that's related to comments and questions that we got in this month in August. And segment 4 is the analytics. I'm going to take you into our YouTube studio and kind of look at the plots and the numbers on that side of things, and some of the insights there. Definitely the stuff that I enjoy looking at from that data perspective, like I've talked about before. So segment 1 was this past month here in August. I'm recording this on my new camera, which I briefly mentioned I think in a June footnotes. So I've had this camera a couple months now. I really enjoy using it. It's been a good investment. The only thing that you might have noticed as I begin to record quite a bit with this camera is the autofocus is not quite as quick as it was when I was using my phone. So the phone autofocus has maybe a little bit better just in terms of grabbing on what I actually want to talk about in those videos. With this camera, sometimes it happens pretty quick. Sometimes I actually have to go in and manually hit that ring on the lens. So I've been figuring that out. Hopefully we'll be getting better at that moving forward. But some of the videos that have been going up, there is just a brief hang up as I get things in focus, so you might have noticed that. Other than that, I've been really happy with this camera. It really does have the crystal clear shots that I want when I'm looking up at close stuff. The color balance I think is better than the phone, so really starting to use that for most of the content now. Really the only thing I don't use it for is shorts videos, which leads into my next I guess discussion. I only put out a few shorts this month. Actually, the first 2 videos were from some of the stores that I've been to in July, and those I just wanted to put up, not so much because I wanted those to be in shorts format, but because that's kind of all the footage I got from those trips. So that kind of was a natural way to include that this month early on. And then the one that I did specifically try to make as a short successful video was the look at this click hinge piece. Something really interesting that I came across was this little sub-assembly you can snap off, and I wanted to definitely talk about that, but it was such a quick topic, I thought it would be good for a shorts format video, which I made. So I put that out there, and very similar to the other content that we've put out in this form before on the channel. It sat for a couple days, followed the pretty standard 20-30 views within the first day, and then started to taper off. But then it got picked up in the short specific side that YouTube has developed, and the views go up really fast. So that's all happened before, and within a couple days of that, suddenly drops off and it goes flatline. That's all happened before. But now, looking back, we have a little bit more insight onto what YouTube is doing with this specific video format. I think they put out some material from the inside point of view on how they've got this set up and kind of what they want shorts to be. And really, I think there's a focus on the audio side of shorts and being able to rehash the audio content in new shorts videos. So what I've taken away from what I've seen our channel performance, specifically with the short videos, and the information that YouTube has put out about this format, is it specifically boosts the content so that it can get to a large audience and give them a chance to use this audio in new shorts videos. And I think if that happens, if people are using the audio sample from the short, then that gets extended and it just progresses indefinitely in terms of how many people watch it. But if no one is rehashing the audio from the short video, I think it gets played a certain amount of time and then it gets dropped so that new content can continuously be brought in. So it isn't so much about the actual visual side of these videos that's going out. I think it has a lot more to do with the musical side, and intended to be more of a direct competitor to some of the really popular social media stuff going on right now with the TikTok and the Instagram Reels side. So that's kind of what I've looked at, and drawing some conclusions there. I think it's going to be better in the long run for content that I want specifically to have the long-term appeal and the visual discussion, which is pretty much 100% of what I do from my side of the channel, kind of moving away from shorts. And even though discussion of these really small topics, quick topics, can be done in that amount of time, I think I'd rather just put it into a normal format video, so that can kind of maintain more of a constant search and discovery instead of the music and audio focused side of shorts. So I've really wanted to clarify that for a little while, and now kind of having more of the pieces to put that together. Wanted to get that out, and Footnotes is just the best place to put that discussion. So this was really interesting, and I have actually found a piece that fits into the square slot of this brick. I put some of this stuff up on Flickr, but this little ski on the back has a slot, or kind of this width that actually matches the square opening in the 1x2 brick that you can take this top off of. So that's what I've put out in a shorts video. I might even have to make this into a hue tap just to talk about this property. There's definitely a lot of potential with the insert piece, because that has a click hinge segment and you can clip that onto, there's a range of other pieces that will accept this, but now the other side of the click hinge is this square kind of socket that could look really good as specific details for robotics, for shipbuilding. So some new applications within the subparts of this Lego piece, and this goes beyond what I briefly was able to show in the shorts video that got put out. I might be putting out more content about this piece down the road, and we might be doing less shorts here on Brick System Brothers. The last thing this month that I wanted to specifically mention was our Emporium Lego Club that we kind of have going on. I've put out a little bit of content about this. We did wrap up our meetings. It was just a summer thing, so meeting on a weekday once those kids are back in school, that kind of doesn't work out with schedules anymore. So decided, like the last years that we've done it in 2018, 2019, is just going to be a summer idea, and that also gives me a chance to kind of bring all the Lego pieces back in, do some cleaning, do some sorting and inventory, and get things a little bit reorganized for the next time. Probably next summer, if I'm still here, we will do that. But some of the other final creations that we didn't cover too much on the channel, we talked a lot about the Happy Flyers, and that was back in June and July. But that evolved into something called the Happy Crawlers, and so that was kind of spearheaded by Josh, and he built this guy, kind of just a tank vehicle, and it specifically uses the same size brick, printed brick, but instead of the face, the person face, like the red hair and the black hair faces that were printed, this uses the animal prints. And so I had a couple of those. We didn't have enough to make the same amount of vehicles as we did Happy Flyers, but the Happy Crawlers were still a significant part of the Emporium, so I wanted to show Josh's Happy Crawler tank, and also just some other generic builds, like this was a little Jeep that I made, and some of the other projects there within the last couple weeks were going pretty well. We just didn't cover all of that on the channel, but that was a lot of fun to do, the Emporium Lego Club, and just have that hosted here locally. Something that I will be continuing if I am still around next year. These guys are just up here because I built these 2 copies of the hopper car, Mile and Train hopper car. Mile and Train, something I would like to keep going forward with and build some more of, possibly even doing some mock work within the train line going forward, but that's what we accomplished this month. For segment 2, I want to talk about 2 videos I put out last year, which are related to importing official sets to digital builders. So you can open a digital builder and start building with just pieces right away, but if you want to start with a complete built set, there's not a direct application for that. You can just fire up Studio and import the inventory of a Lego set, but it lays it all out in loose pieces in the build, which can be helpful if you're working on alternate builds. You have all the pieces right there. You can import a Lego set as a parts palette, but I didn't see a way in the Studio software to just have 1 or 2 clicks and import a constructed Lego set already fully built to the build floor, which is what I was looking for software of Studio and Digital Designer. So I've got a pretty specific search term in the bar here, and after the ad, the first 2 videos are the ones I put up last year. They're actually doing pretty good with 7.6 thousand views and 6.6 thousand views on each Studio and LDD. Really happy that this has been able to get pushed up to the top and help people who are who are looking for this specific solution. And I've tried to maintain links in each of these. If links are going dead, I do go in there and keep those updated. That actually happened in the Studio video recently. The website that puts these together that you can pull them from did a little bit of a rearrangement, and the original link was no longer working. So it was actually thanks to a comment on the video. Someone said, hey, the link isn't working. I was able to go back to Pascal's Bricks, find the right section of the web page, update that link. Hopefully people can continue to use these videos for these specific applications. And these are examples of videos that I try to put out that, you know, they might not rack up a lot of views right out of the gate. Even in the first month, might not be breaking 100. But over the long term, as people are specifically looking for these unique problems with specific solutions, I wanted to have something out there that did answer the question and that had a solution, a possibility for that problem. And just getting into even 2 different kinds of software that have unique solutions. So the LDD solution, there is a forum page that has kind of a group think putting these out. The Studio solution is just a single passion project, and I don't think there's too much overlap between either one. You can import an LDD file into Studio, so there's kind of a workaround, you know, from LDD to Studio if you had to go that way, but I think it's better to just have that direct, in the case of the set being ready on that website, it's better to have that direct import. But that is something I could revisit, just looking at a workaround to import additional sets into Studio that aren't ready would be importing the LDD file to the Studio software. And so for the answering machine, I wanted to cover 4 comments and questions that came in. The first one was from Slade Wilson, asking about hair accessories in the Build a Minifig of Lego stores. And this is something that I've been going back and forth on in terms of you know, how nice it is to do this to Lego. Basically, certain stores will let you put any 15 items in the Build a Minifig. So say you want 15 copies of a chicken, and you can find 15 chickens in the pieces that they have. They will let you fill up the canister, each one of these, with 5 chickens for a total of 15. But I've actually seen comments and stuff on different forums from Lego store employees that say they're not supposed to do this. And this might actually be something that varies from store to store based on the manager approach. And I hadn't even pursued the idea of going for 15 copies of the same piece, or even breaking it down, until this past month when I was on the road trip, or back in July, I guess. And I did want to pick up several of the orange toolboxes. Found a store that had no qualms about that happening, and went ahead and kind of mixed and matched. I think I got 10 toolboxes, and the other 5 were split between various things. But actually, in the long run, I've always leaned towards building 5 distinct minifigures just to kind of maximize the range of pieces that are available. I can usually find something I want to pick up from the store without getting duplicates of stuff. But that is an option. It just varies from store to store depending on how they have it set up. A lot of it goes back to how they stock the inventories for these Build-A-Minifigs. If they're counting on people only building 5 specific minifigs, or 3 specific minifigs from 5 distinct parts, that's how they're going to stock these bins. And if people go in there and buy 15 chickens, they're going to be out of chickens way before everything else in the stock. But if they don't necessarily have that limitation from the get-go, and they're just bringing in pieces as they need them, then it's a completely different ball game, and you can kind of mix and match there without hurting that inventory too much. Which I guess, yeah, it's up to the Lego store because it's their product at the end of the day. So Cosmic Lettuce asked, well, he didn't really ask so much, but rather commented on the Brickit app video with some ideas about sorting. The way that this comment opens, nobody likes sorting. And then launches into a whole discussion about automatic sorting and how that needs to become a mainstream thing. Which, if someone can figure out automated Lego sorting for a mass market appeal, there's some money to be made there, but the problem is a little more difficult than I think people generally think. And automated sorting is actually a topic I've been following for about a year, and I'm compiling material slowly as I come across it to do a topic on this channel. So Cosmic Lettuce has some interesting things to say about that if you would like to go read that. That's on the Brickit app. Christopher Tyson, I think is how you would say that, talking about the technique of using Lego studs into Technic brick holes, and asking about using that on Digital Designer. As far as I know, the constraints of Digital Designer do not permit that connection because it would be considered illegal. It's kind of tight, and so there's really specific tolerances built into the pieces in the program for Digital Designer, and if something isn't going to connect in actual building with actual bricks, it generally will not be allowed to be used in the program. In Studio, you can turn off collisions and use different techniques to position things to look as though they're connected, even though in the program they're not connected through the software side. It's just a visual connection. Even though, in actual physical bricks, oftentimes it's possible to bend the rules a little bit because of those tolerances and because of the plastic. So on the Digital Designer side of things, since that program isn't supported, I don't think you can go in there and tweak too much. If you want to start looking at what's in the fuzzy zone between legal Lego building and stuff that doesn't really work, head over to Studio, turn off the collision feature, and you can kind of put things together to your heart's content. The last one to talk about for the answering machine is Illusion 30, going into specific details about Bricklink colors and frustrations there that he's had as a buyer. Looking at some of the really obscure colors where it starts to get hard to tell the difference, especially retired colors and some of the blues and pinks over the years that have become difficult to tell apart, which is frustrating on Bricklink because if the seller has incorrectly put something in their listing and you as a buyer go with that specific color and part combination in mind, then there's not really a good way to tell if that's what the seller actually has. It really depends on how accurate that listing is, and you don't have a way to confirm that until it shows up at your door, you open the package, and you see, oh, actually this is the right shade, but it's a slightly different color, or stuff like that, which has happened to me before. I tried to order some chrome gold pieces. The seller had listed them as chrome gold, and they were metallic gold. So those distinctions that need to be made on the seller side of things, where sometimes people just don't have the knowledge or have made a mistake. Like it can honestly happen. You have the best intentions as a seller. You know your Lego colors. You just put in the wrong thing on your listing. There's some good discussion there from Illusion 30. We go back and forth a couple more times. That comment was on, I don't remember what comment that was on. I will put that in the description for you guys. Okay, the last thing to do is segment 4, looking at channel analytics for August. We were able to break through the 20,000 views this month, and this specifically is looking at August 1st to 30th. So today, the statistics for today are not in yet, and that would put this number a little bit higher. It was pretty steady, floating around 600 the entire month, with a couple of peaks on the 8th and on the 25th, as different videos get picked up and recommended and then drop back off. For the most part, the original digital designer tutorial is still carrying the bulk of our views, watch time, and subscribers. Not necessarily the revenue, though. That this video gets from anywhere from 50 to 100 views a day, and that is really helpful for maintaining consistency through the day by day of our channel. Even if we're not uploading videos every day, we have several videos now that have gotten picked up and are watched regularly, and contribute to the steady flow of views and watch time coming in. So 20,000 views. You can see along the bottom here, pretty regular uploads into the system. This is actually the live video I tried to do with the job lot sort. So the modified bricks video itself is up, and that this is two different things. So the sorting, I was going to do kind of just a live chill session for discussion, comments, something I've been wanting to do for a while. I just didn't think I had enough throughput to do this over Wi-Fi, and I don't even know if I'd have enough throughput to do it directly plugged in. So I wanted to do a little test run, so I did, and it was kind of obvious how that went if you watched it. Definitely do not have enough bandwidth to do a stream, so we'll have to look for solutions to this. We would like to do a few streams here and there, but majority of our content is going to be the regular uploads. And I'm actually going to delist this video now that it's been out for a week or so. If you really want to be able to go and watch it still, I'll put a link to it here in this description, but it won't show up on our channel pages after today. Hours of watch time is over 840. Again, there's some correlation where the peaks are at early in August and around the 25th. But not direct correlation. So it seems that views are sometimes influencing watch time, but for the most part, this is determined by how long people watch a specific video. So if the digital designer tutorial gets watched all the way through, that's like a 40-minute video, and that really does rack up quite a few watch hours, even though it's only one view. We've actually got another big rise here at the end of the month. So thank you for watching. 65 subscribers so far. We actually had a pretty good slowdown from August 12th to August 22nd, and that has picked up back a little bit, but last month we were actually seeing steady 2 or 3 every day, and that kind of did drop off now. So the subscribers growth rate has dropped a little bit, and I don't think that's necessarily something to be super concerned about. It's just going to be that little bit of variation from month to month as different people log on and watch different videos. And revenue, we are breaking through the $20 a month mark now. We have received our first deposit past the $100 benchmark, and this is on a separate platform actually. I had to register everything through the AdSense side and get bank account information and tax information all set up over there.
before we got our deposit. So that was kind of interesting. Several more hoops to jump through and get that all set up. But this does show that we're still bringing in some ad revenue. I would like to do a much deeper dive on which videos are bringing in more ad revenue, which types of ads are bringing in more, but I don't think that will fit in our footnotes for this month. We might have to save that for an end of the year discussion, specifically talking about running ads now that we have our channel monetized. So here on the 31st, as of recording, 1,477 subscribers, which is great. We're still growing pretty steadily. And recently we've got a big boost in the digital designer video, where that's getting up over 200 every 2 days, so about 100 views a day. And then some of my other videos that were just kind of on the steady path have actually seen a breakout. And looking at the last month or so, this trend has been seeing this jump here in here. So it's kind of hard to see right at the far end of the graph. But the steady plot, which is what we hope most of our videos look like, seeing steady growth day over day, there's actually been 2 distinct periods of rapid growth within that trend. And now that's getting recommended, or people are coming across these videos more. So that's also really great. And that leads to more subscribers and a little bit more revenue. So that is the analytics for August. That's about all I had to discuss for footnotes as well. Almost forgot to mention, but I think I am going to take this off, just delist it, not necessarily delete it. And it won't count towards our 500 video milestone, which is coming up. I think we're at 482 with this video right now. So within the next month or two, we will be hitting that 500 video mark. And I'll put out something special for that, like I've done for the other 100 milestones. 200, 300, and 400, we each did something special. So you can go back and watch those. I'll put them up here at the end as suggested videos, and also put up our recent subscribers. And this is who has made their subscriptions public. I can see that here in our dashboard view, and sort it by most recent subscribers. So if you subscribed and you don't see your name, it's probably because you have not made your subscriptions public. And if you don't want to, that's fine. Thank you for subscribing anyways, but we do like to put these up here at the end as a little thank you to the people who are bringing their contribution to these numbers, to our channel, to our continued growth and success. So thank you guys for that. Thank you to everyone who is watching Brick System Brothers on the regular. We do appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed yet, we would ask that you consider doing so. It does help us to grow and to get our videos recommended in more places, and hopefully in front of more people who will find them useful. Alright, bit of a longer video today, guys. Thanks for watching anyways, and we'll see you in September.